Whether you're a Class 5 rafter or just looking for a couple of laughs, these two have you covered. Welcome to Aaron and Zach's Better Than Mediocre Rafting Show.
Well, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Aaron and Zach's Naive and Entitled Rafting Show. And I love our intro, Aaron. I haven't watched it for a while. We did a good job with that. When I say we, I mean I did a good job with that.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nicely done. Yes,
this is well done. This is a show we do on Fridays at 2 p.m. live, where a couple of naive and entitled guys attempt to talk about rafting. This is not an education. This is entertainment. We're not here to educate anyone. Aaron, if people want education, where should they go?
I mean, I think this is education. This is educational.
No, because you play devil's advocate. I play devil's advocate.
So you say the Tuesday? Will you say the Tuesday show is educational?
We answer questions. It's a Q&A show. We answer questions. So I mean, there's information there, but if people want real education on rafting, I want to be clear.
They should sign up for take your online course.
Our online course, or they can go to Lake Tahoe Community College Raft Guide School.
Great idea.
That's an option.
Yep. Yeah, they can take courses, read great books. We talked about that that other day about all those great books out there.
The Complete Whitewater Rafter. This is education. Great book by Jeff Bennett. This is just fun for us. We do this on Fridays. We goof around. If you're listening to this on River Talk Podcast, people have asked us, are you smiling because you're looking at comments, Aaron?
No, I'm smiling at you, Zach. I'm just happy to be here.
Anyway, if you're listening to this on River Talk Podcast, we take the audio from the show, strip it, and put it on the podcast. For those of you that want to just hear the audio, we do not suggest doing that. Looking at our beautiful faces makes this better. We're going to share video. This is not meant to be an audio podcast. And so if you're listening on the podcast, turn it off and go to YouTube, find this. But some people want the audio version. So that's what we give you on River Talk Podcast. I want to thank everybody for being members, for subscribers, for liking. It really helps us a lot. It makes us feel cool. Thank you. And Aaron, let's start with trivia. What do you think? We do trivia. We try to do trivia every week. And if you answer the question, or if you answer the trivia, then you win a prize. But you have to be a member. This is a way of thanking our members for being members. So members only trivia. And the trivia is, what camp is this?
Oh, I got this.
This one's hard. This is a hard trivia question.
Not at all.
For you, but not many people have camped here, I don't think. So this is an advanced trivia question. And those of you that win the trivia, you can choose from winning this cool coffee mug, Northwest Rafting Company coffee mug, or Tim Palmer's Rivers of Oregon book. And as a hint, this river is in this book. So that's a hint. Or you can also win this little thing we're going to talk about in a little bit. We'll get to this in a little bit.
The little thing. Cool.
You don't know what it is yet, Aaron, but it'll be in the trivia.
How many rivers are in Tim Palmer's book?
A lot. I don't think it's numbered. I mean, this isn't a river guide as much as it's just like, I mean, Tim Palmer doesn't write really guides to rivers much. He just talks about rivers. I mean, there's probably like 50. He talks about the whole drainage, not just the part you want to raft or kayak, or rivers you would never raft or kayak. So
no guesses so far on that.
It's hard. That's why there's no guesses. It's hard. So we may not have anybody, but I want to.
I wonder how many people actually. It's rare that camp gets camped at. Yeah, I'll say sure. It's not an easy carry to that camp.
Oh, you're giving away too many hints.
Well, it's not an easy carry to that camp. I'll just say that. So it doesn't get used that often. So I think it's hard to say. You probably haven't camped there.
Well, that's the thing. Thanks, M. Silva. Yeah, a lot of our questions people can just Google and get the answer. And I thought that was not really fair to people, because I want to make it hard. On the road, wrong. Nice. Thanks for guessing. Courtney knows. I've camped with Courtney there before, so she knows it.
Zach, talk about giving it away.
I mean, that's still not going to give it away. They might. I mean, nobody even has mentioned the river yet, much less the camp.
Oh, they got to name the campsite too. That's true.
Name the camp.
Name the campsite. Not name the river. Name the campsite.
Name the campsite. I think that's a tough one.
So you just let them let them remove all of the rogue campsites from the equation right there.
Right there. Yep. Yeah. It's not the rogue. It looks like the rogue though, kind of. Yeah, so let's get started, Aaron. I got a few things to cover.
Before we start, we were talking about briefly, like we talked about Jim. We were just talking about Jim Faust before the episode started. Not sure, maybe you guys know Jim Faust, but Jim Faust used to own Sunshine Rafting. He mainly ran on the Stan, right? He ran on the Stanislaus. I think he ran the Goodwin Canyon, and then before that, in the late 80s, early 90s, when New Melones got low, they were running trips up there consistently too, up on the Camp 9 run.
Yeah.
Which everyone I talked to ran even back then said it was a hoot. But he passed away, I think September 8th, I want to say. And so I think they're going to do something for him down in Goodwin Canyon coming up here sometime soon. But you worked for him, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, like, he was known to be a little bit cowboy. And if I remember correctly, I remember you coming back up to the Tuolumne talking about how you got to drive the bus with the guests in it. Was that right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you just like, hey, can I try driving? And he's like, sure.
I can tell a lot of Jim Faust stories now that he can't get sued or in trouble for them.
Yeah, he's gone.
But he's a great guy. You know, because when I started on Tuolumne, you couldn't have enough days to get a whole season. Yeah. You know, we were doing like two days a week, maybe. And so like no Tuolumne guide could make it. Right now you're just lapping day trips and making, you know, getting tons of work. But back then you'd have to find almost a second job to work the T. And I would go down and work for Jim on the Goodwin Canyon section of Stanislaus. This is a really dangerous section of river. But it was work. And he would, the trips I worked would be German tourists on these little bus rides, and they get dropped off and they didn't speak English. And so you would give the city talk to the guide, who would then give it to the tourists. And then I'm pretty sure they just paid him cash under the table. And then I just got paid cash. Right at the end of the day. So I think it was like a kind of a like behind the scenes thing happening. And it's not, I would not recommend commercially doing this section to anyone. There's, you know, like 2 portages, like several places people have died. There's a rapid called Air Mattress because somebody ran in an air mattress and died. It's not the safest section, but he let me do anything. And so he had this really cool bus painted like I think it's rainbow colored. And I'm like, oh, I want to drive that thing. He's like, cool, drive it. Let me drive it to put in, take out. I had no business driving a bus. I'm actually a good driver.
I mean, you're just some random like 20-something-year-old kid who's like never driven a bus. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, go for it. Do it.
But that river was way more dangerous than the bus. I mean, those rapids are full on, and like not super hard. I mean, they're hard. They're class 4, but like dangerous. You know, like when I think about rapids, some rapids are really difficult, but if you swim, it's not a big deal. You know, I like Cherry Creek is kind of like that. As class 5 goes, if I'm going to swim somewhere in class 5, Cherry Creek, I would want to swim. Other rivers are like class 3 and 4, but a lot of sieves and nasty stuff where you wouldn't want to swim. And Goodwin Canyon is somewhere you don't really want to swim. Lots of weird undercut rocks and caves, and at one point, I guess it's called Iron Box. There's just an iron box in the river that's it's an entrapment.
Yeah,
Aaron? There's just like an iron box stuck in the river.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Yeah,
a lot of.
I actually really like that section. I've run it a lot over the years, and I think it's a really fun, cool little canyon. It is. You got to have skills to go in there, though. I'd say it's because you're going to be lining something most times. There's some mess up stuff in there. You got to be conservative, but it's fun.
Commercially, we always line Matterhorn. You have to run. So all the rapids are named after Disneyland rides, or most of them except like Air Mattress. They're either named after Disneyland rides or somebody died basically. And the first one was called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Is that right? Is that right? Or
yeah, Mr. Toad's. Yeah,
Mr. Toad's. And I mean, I don't know if I ever figured that one out. You just kind of like did the best you could and hoped you didn't flip. And so you couldn't.
And don't end up with that chompy little room of doom on the bottom right. There's like certain flows. There's that like undercut little corner that your whole boat could go in.
You just avoid. Your whole goal is to avoid that. We should find some video of it. And then Matterhorn, you would line every time. And then Haunted House was like some flows you ran it, sometimes you portaged it. But Haunted Houses, I swam that. I had a really bad swim there once.
But everyone's had bad swims at Haunted House. You work that river, you have bad swims at Haunted House. It doesn't look that bad, but the swims are awful.
We did video review of this once. I mean, this is a video review show, which I bring up some video. Stannis. Let's see if I can find some video of. Oh, here we go. Carnage or Haunted House. I think we did video review of this section once. Let me find this. I mean, I just videoed this, or I just Googled it really quick. That's the rapid. It's just so unpredictable when you go in there.
Oh, that's a mean feature. And then below it, downstream on the left, there's like a nasty feature there that's not that big, but it's retentive.
It's an unpleasant place to be swimming. Let me make this bigger. And so all the safety they have. Oh, kayak carnage. I'm used to seeing raft carnage. I think were you with me the first time we ran this, Aaron? I was kayaking and a few people were like Dan and Faye were rafting.
No, I wasn't.
But anyway, I kayaked, did fine. Then walked back up and got the raft and we flipped and took a really nasty swim. Looks good so far.
Oh, what was your plan there? Ow.
Oh man. Ouch. That hurts. Let's see, what else do we got here's Goodwin Canyon video. This looks like, is this all outdoors? It looks produced. Yeah, this is where you launch in this overgrown section.
That's early spring or late in the fall. Yeah.
And this is Mr. Toad's water ride. It's just kind of chunky.
Oh God, yeah. It's mean.
You just kind of enter and it's chunky. And you got to avoid that. Your goal is to avoid that wall there on the right. Let's see how they do. You know, a guide died here. At least one. There's that wall. Boom. Yeah, they did it fine.
It's nice to have a light boat.
Yeah. Did a lot of 6 loads. I did a trip here once where it was a 6 load of people and a 12-footer, big guys, and the floor was underwater. This is working for Jim. Like the raft floor was covered in water. The boat was so heavy. Yeah, I don't think this doesn't look fun to me for some reason.
It's actually in a kayak. It's not bad.
Here they are. Where are they now? Why is there no people in this? Oh, they're ghost boating Matterhorn. Yeah. There's definitely a line here. I don't know. It definitely goes. It just nerve-wracking. Oh, here's a kayaker doing it.
I got some photos on my site of people running Matterhorn.
I never have. Even when I did it privately. I've always been a little nervous about it. And there's just a bunch of fun rapids like this. Let's see how they do in Haunted House. Middle and lower. I don't remember any of these rapids.
They're lining Haunted House.
Yeah, we did. I'd say we lined it 50% of the time. Some flows is good. Some flows is horrendous. Anyway. Well, Jim, thanks for
I think he got a lot of people in the water, and there's a lot of guides came through and worked for him. You know, a lot of people got to work for him. So
yeah. You just be like, hey Jim, I need some work. You're like, yeah, come on Tuesday. It's pretty easy. Yeah, Trevor. I think I remember Trevor had footage of that run. Well, I guess I'm gonna share with you, Aaron. Remember when we were talking about Dougie's? Were you with us when we were talking about Dougie's bidet method for pooping? Weren't you on that show where we talked about Dougie wiping his butt with his hands? Or was that just me and Dougie?
He wipes his butt with his hands?
Yeah, he calls it the bidet method. So when he goes...
How's that a bidet? Isn't it a bidet where you just squirt water on there?
He squirts water too, I think. No, he doesn't squirt water. Anyway, you weren't on the show. So anyway, we had a talk about leave no trace and I don't know, whatever came up. And Dougie talked about how he just doesn't use toilet paper. And then he just washes his hands really well. And I've never tried it. And then now you were here because you were the one that was like, just use a rock.
Use a rock.
Yeah, rock. You just use a rock and throw it far away. And I was like, you can't just throw poop covered rocks.
Show. Yeah. Okay. I remember this now. Yeah,
okay. Well, anyway, a viewer suggested we try out this product, and I bought it. And it's this little bottle cap thing. Check this out. Let me see if I can make myself bigger. It's this little thing you put on top of your bottle. They go, psh, and then it has a little slit right there, and it squirts water in your butt. Can you see this thing?
Yeah, I can. So, I mean, and is it seal and unseal?
On the water bottle, yeah. There's like two different, like it can go on. Yeah, it just like pushes in your water bottle, and then you just go.
So you have to have a plastic water bottle for you to use it.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
You can't. It doesn't work on metal water bottles because you have to squeeze the bottle.
You have to squeeze it. I mean, I haven't tested it, but there's a view on the packaging. Be green, be clean. There you go. Do you see it?
I'm a little uncomfortable with it for numerous reasons. I'm gonna say you're gonna put the mouth of your water bottle underneath your butthole and wash it off, and then you're gonna drink out of that water bottle afterwards. That's
maybe this bottle is only for cleaning your butt.
Yeah, that doesn't seem practical either. So,
okay, here's what it says on the side. Before using it's called CuloClean. Try and squeeze the plastic bottle as hard as you can, just up to before CuloClean pops out. Slightly rinse your CuloClean to facilitate its insertion into the bottle, and remove it right after use before it dries out to avoid from getting stuck. Anyway, it's called CuloClean.com.
Maybe we need Doug to try it out for us.
Doug will. I mean, I think Doug will try it out. So anyway, somebody suggested we get it and try it and promote it. I think it's kind of cool. I bought two of them. Anyway, I'm not going to ever use it. I have two unused.
So you can do that on your trips. Then you just have a water bottle instead of toilet paper next to the toilet.
Yeah,
and everyone can just rinse off into the toilet.
I mean, the poop still ends up on the ground though.
No, they just rinse off into the toilet, and you just have a bunch of water.
Oh yeah, but let's say you're backpacking, you're still gonna. I mean, you're cleaning. The poop ends up on the ground, so I'm not sure if it follows leave no trace principles exactly. But anyway, these are prizes. So if somebody answers the trivia question,
you can get a poop lid,
a brand new poop lid. That's an option.
Brand new, never used.
It's come out of the box just for the demonstration.
Maybe you could have. It'd be interesting if you had one that'd been used by Dougie, and then went ahead and see which one people would request first. Which one would go first?
I'm not going to touch the one used by Dougie. Anyway, I forgot who suggested we check this out on the show. Thank you for whoever did. It's cool. It's an interesting idea.
It's an interesting concept.
This is an actual bidet versus Dougie's bidet method is a marginal bidet.
Good point. Yeah.
It's an actual bidet. Okay, a few more things to talk about before we get to the meat of the show. The next, Aaron, I want to talk about our contest. Oh, I got to show you one thing. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Wow, look at that. You had a check made?
We get a giant check as the prize.
What does it say on the top of it?
It says
Immersion Research.
Immersion Research Community Bank. Community River Bank. So this is, I've always wanted to make a giant check. This is the prize for our contest, a $1,000 giant check gift certificate for Immersion Research.
So people can put up on their wall. That's pretty cool.
No, you have to bring this to Immersion Research to get your. You have
to bring that to them.
Yeah, this is the actual prize.
They don't get to keep it. They don't get to put it on their wall.
I don't know. Probably not.
They might be maybe if they could put stamp canceled on it and give it back to them, or something like that, or used or something like that.
We haven't thought that far ahead, but that's the prize for winning our contest.
I gotta ask, did you make that giant check?
What do you think? I just sat around and made a check like that?
Did Immersion Research make the giant check?
Oh, I had it made. I didn't make it.
You had it made.
Yeah. So no, there's a place you go to. Just Google giant check, and you'll find places that can make giant checks.
Was that shipped to you, or did you have to pick it up?
They shipped it to me. I got on the internet. Look at this thing. It's awesome.
Oh my goodness.
I hope
my goodness.
I hope I can, I can actually give it to somebody like physically. I don't want to ship it to somebody else. I don't think. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about our contest. I'm really excited about it. To find out the rules, to have the rules, just go to Whitewater Guidebook and then click the Gear Garage Ultimate River Runner Contest. And We haven't come up with all of the rules for the entire contest. Like they're not all there. Just bear with us. We'll come up with the rules as they go. And please know we might change the rules. We want to make this fun, but we also want to make this fair. And we've never done a contest of this order of magnitude and don't want to make a mistake. So we might change things a little bit just to make it better. But I think we'll keep it pretty consistent. The rules are be safe. We don't want anybody getting hurt doing this. It's when you're doing training, it's embarrassing to get hurt. So please be safe and recognize the rules may change. We don't think they will, but they could. And the key is there's 2 brackets, and each bracket will have 3 winners, and the final 6 people will go to the final round. So you have to be a top 3 finisher in the first round to make it to the final bracket, and there'll be up to 6 people in it. Who knows? We may only have 1 person enter, and that'll be easy to make it. And for the first bracket, you can enter your video by October 16th. And both Aaron and I are going to go away for the next few weeks, so we'll get back and hopefully have entries. And there's an entry form at the bottom of this page. And if you get first place in the first bracket, I will buy you the throw bag of your choice. Within reason, let's put a $200 price limit on it. I don't want to buy like a throw bag that you shoot from a gun or something, but I'll buy whatever throw bag you want up to $200 for the bag. And you essentially have to video you performing this modified IRF throw bag assessment. And we're going to judge it. And so the judging is how we're judging is based here. Safety, 10 points, some artistic quality of the video, 10 points. So, put some effort into that. I want to make sure everybody's dressed correctly. Like if we find you wearing a non-blocking carabiner or your PFD's not buckled, we'll take some points off. The challenge of the locations were 20 points, and the proper completion of the assessment is 50 points. And Aaron and I are going to judge separately. We're not going to. There's no way we'll agree because I might think the safety is a 10, Aaron might think it's an 8, but it's the
and I'm going to say the
from
challenge of the location doesn't mean a stupid location that's dangerous. That's going to lose you.
Yeah. Points. Yeah. Remember, the first rule is safe. First rule is safe. And there'll be 3 winners of this first bracket. There'll be a second bracket, and we haven't decided what that's going to be yet. I want to make it a little bit more difficult than the first round. So the first round will be the easiest way to enter. The second bracket will be a little more difficult, I believe. And I think we'll do it by December 16th. We might push that off a little bit. And then we'll take 3 winners from the first bracket, 3 winners from the second bracket, and we'll offer a final round. And the winner of the final round gets the $1,000 Immersion Research gift certificate. This thing. Enough to probably buy a dry suit. That's probably pretty close to it, getting a dry suit.
That'd be sweet. Get a brand new dry suit. Ooh, yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah. And you could. I mean, this is a couple hours of your time to put the video together. I mean, you could take longer. You could do it shorter. I mean, honestly, you could go out with an iPhone and your buddies while you're paddling, pull over, bust this out, and throw your iPhone video up and call it good, and win the first round. And the entry form's right here. Please do not email Aaron. He's going to be gone for a while. We'll use the fancy entry form we created. And yeah, that's it. What do you think, Aaron?
Looks great, Zach.
Good. Oh, wow. You're positive about it. I was ready to be negative about it.
No, I'm excited that you didn't mention my email address or print it up there and tell people not to send stuff to it. It really confuse everyone. You're finally getting this figured out. So
yep.
We got Heidi's got a couple questions over there that might be.
If any of the 6 finalists cannot compete in the third round, will you designate runners up? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, wait.
I think we'll play by ear, Heidi, and see what happens. It depends how good the entrants were.
What do you mean runners up? Designate runners up. I'm not sure what that means, Aaron.
Like.
If you win the first, let me try to phrase this. If you win the first bracket, you are invited to enter the final round. If you can't make it, you can't make it. That's a bummer. But you're invited to enter the thing. Is she asking like if 3 people make it to the final round and one of them can't make it, do I pull the 4th place into the thing?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No runners up. You gotta be in the top 3. I'm looking for excellence here. Also, getting full-time working people to participate in these challenges requires as much advance notice as possible. Looking forward to further details as soon as I have figured out. I read that really fast. Yeah, I mean, we're doing our best, Heidi.
Like Zach said, we're going to be figuring out as we go. So it's not going to be perfect because it's the first time. So like this is a mediocre show, and I'm going to say this is a mediocre contest.
A mediocre contest with a not mediocre prize.
I know, exactly. Mediocre contest with a very nice prize. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would say, our goal here really is to encourage people to train. That's our goal. I think this is fun for us. Hopefully it's fun for those of you entering. Hopefully it's going to be fun for Aaron and I. And hopefully it just encourages people to train and create more discussions about river running and safety. So I'm going to do our best to run a great contest here. But we might make mistakes and go with the flow. And we'll do our best to make it fair for everybody. And we'll get details out as fast as we can. Any other questions, Aaron? Does it all make sense?
Let's roll.
Cool. All right. Next thing on the docket is, I had one more thing to talk about, Aaron, but I forgot what I was going to talk about. So do you want to do some video review?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, I think you're going to either like this or you're going to hate it. It's not wind footage. It's sweep boat footage. So I ran the sweep last week and I shot some footage going backwards and thought I would, hold on. Heidi has a question. Don't see a spot to submit a video. Oh yeah. We can't accept the video. You're going to have to like upload it to Google Drive or something, Vimeo or some YouTube,
and send a link. Yeah,
and send a link. It doesn't have to be secret, and so you don't have to like hide it from the world. But unfortunately we can't. We're not set up to accept the video through our thing.
Yeah, that'd be messy. Yeah.
So I got some sweep boat footage for you, Aaron. What do you think?
I like your socks.
You like that I'm wearing socks?
Those are nice socks. Are those calf high socks? Those look good. I love calf high socks. I'm a big fan.
Calf high socks?
You know, the socks you pull up your calf like when we were kids. Remember those? They kind of gone outside. Everyone likes the low ankle ones. I like the ones that go up your calf farther.
Yeah, they go to the bottom of my calf. Isn't this what everybody wears?
No, a lot of people just wear those little ones that go up to your ankle. Anyways, I like your socks. That's what I have to say about it.
Wait, do men wear the ones that go up to their ankles?
Oh yeah.
Really? I thought men are supposed to wear socks like this.
I'm gonna say I can't find socks like that here in Hawaii. I had to go to the mainland to buy socks like that.
Wait, so everybody, do you even wear socks in Hawaii?
Well, people don't wear them. People do, but it's not that common.
Okay, but like, can you find socks to go to your ankles?
Not the higher ones. Like I definitely stand out with my socks. Okay. I'm definitely unique out here.
Well, if you want me to ship you some socks, I'll ship you some socks.
Yeah, I'm good. But thank you. I got a whole pack last time I went back and brought them back with me. Okay. This is cool, Zach. Yeah, this is nice footage. What are we watching for? Your technique?
I just thought I'd share video.
Okay.
That's all I got for today's sweep boat video.
So we're gonna watch this for an hour and a half longer of Zach rowing sweep boat.
Well, there's only about 10 minutes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's only about 10 minutes.
Do we have any other topics for today, or is that it?
No. Do you have topics? I thought I have one more thing, but I forgot what it was. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna bore you with sweep boat footage now. Do you know who that is in the back of the boat?
I'm guessing Kevin.
It's not Kevin.
Dan?
Nope.
Is it your wife?
Nope.
Who is it?
Lori Lewis.
Oh yeah. I can totally see that now that you say that. Yeah.
I let her come on a sweep with me for a day.
It's hard to judge size from
that far back.
Yeah.
This is Earthquake Rock. At the beginning, some people call it the first Jack Creek Rapid.
It is really a pretty section of river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the best river trip in the world, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And then did you know that the river has been brown all summer?
Since the slides?
Yeah, there was a slide. We were on the river last week. There was the rivers slid last week too. So if you look back, go back to this.
It looked clearer the other day. Yeah.
See how that's clear. That's our day 3. And this is the next day.
Oh, wow.
So it was dark chocolate milk this day.
Was that because another rainstorm? Why did it get muddy again?
Yeah, it rained, and then those same places that slid on the Middle Fork slid again. And so more sediment came down. It was very, I mean, it looks just brown there, but it was like really viscous, thick brown. Tin Man, I think helped push that beast in the water a few weeks ago. Was it ours, Tin Man, or somebody else's? And there's basically 2 or 3 of these a day at Indian Creek. So it might have been ours, might have been this one, might have been a different one. Do you notice my solar panel there, Aaron?
Wow, look at that. What are you charging?
I'm charging a battery, which I can use to charge my GoPros.
Does that solar panel actually charge that much? Because I found a lot of the solar panels don't actually do that much good. You're better off just getting a better battery and bringing in a battery with you with more.
I'm practicing for the Grand Canyon because I need to get lots of footage for the show on the Grand Canyon. So I have to charge the GoPros a lot. So I thought I'd get this. And I got a big battery, but it's not big enough for the Grand Canyon. So I got this to fill it.
Are you running pins and clips, or are you going to run locks down there?
On the Canyon?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they give me. I'm guessing locks.
You should run pins and clips.
just for the show?
Well, I know guys down there that run pins and clips anyways, but yeah, you should just run pins and clips just to be cool. Be like, yeah, dude, you can do this in pins and clips. You don't.
We're
need
doing
locks.
with Pro. Do you think I can request it?
I don't know. I bet they do have pins and clips.
I know almost nothing about this trip. I mean, I know
they probably give you rights, but
I don't think I want rights. I'll take whatever they give me. But if I can go there and request pins and clips, I'll do it.
I really wish you brought your sweep
on the Grand Canyon.
That'd be hilarious.
No, I don't think so.
And they get a little motor for it. It's too late now. You get a little motor to motor through the flat water, and then pull the motor up, and then row the rapids with your sweep.
That'd be fun. Somebody has run a sweep down the Grand Canyon. It hasn't been done.
Oh yeah, well, back in the day with the Betsy and Glenn Hyde, that's what they were running, was a sweep when the honeymoon couple that disappeared back in the
I heard the story
30s or 40s or whatever it was. Yeah, they were running a sweep.
It was the 30s or 40s.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Hey, watch Kevin here. Hold on. So I got Kevin on now. This is Cupcakes.
It's probably
and so
30s.
See how he's putting his hand out.
Yeah,
this comes up later. He's because if you let go of that sweep arm, see, it's going to just knock him out of the boat. So he's just sitting there ready to grab the sweep. And then if I do let go of it, he can send it back to me. He's a great swamper.
Where's the safest place to sit?
See that cooler right in front of me?
Yeah.
That's pretty safe because the sweep arms can't reach you. Or on the very, very bow, because the front sweep can't, if it spins sideways, it can't get you. Or where Kevin's sitting, because you can see it coming and just have it knock you out of the boat. So if he got hit with the sweep arm, instead of like being somewhere where it just smashes you in the boat, it'll hit him off the back of the boat. This rapid is Mist Falls Rapid. Right here. Wait, get some comments.
How many guests do you think you could run? This company I remember this one company was running people on sweep boats for a bit.
Yeah, Far and Away does.
That seems like, how do you have them safely ride on the sweep boat?
I don't know. You could, some sweep boats, I'm assuming, back in the day, they ran people on sweep boats. When Jimmy Carter did the Middle Fork, he was on a sweep boat. Have you seen that photo?
No, I haven't.
Let me see if I can find it.
But then would you just sit lower so the oars would just go over your head?
I think that's what they've done. But back in the day, people ran guests on the sweep boat.
How many guests do you think you could take on that sweep boat?
10.
Do you think you
with no gear?
With gear, like how many people? Like you self-support. How many people could you put on that boat and run a trip?
Not that many, because it depends. It depends how much gear weight's a factor.
Yeah.
You can only put so many people. And wait, this is Cliffside.
No, it'd be kind of cool to run a one-boat trip.
Like a one-boat private. One boat
commercial. One-boat commercial.
I don't condone single-boat trips, Aaron.
You're running a single-boat trip right now.
No, see, Dan's behind me.
Yeah, but usually it's a single boat trip.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm not going to do it with commercial guests on the boat.
Did Dan have to work hard to keep up with you?
Yeah. It was hard. Dan's getting pretty buffed out, so he's in pretty good shape. But yeah, it's hard to keep up. He actually passed me one time, which was a terrible idea, and I caught up with. He didn't see me behind, but I caught up with him, and we entered rapid together. It was kind of a disaster.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah. We got lots of comments here.
All right, we'll get to. I want to. Oh, here I go. I let go of a sweep. See how Kevy's ready.
Is this how you snap a sweep? Is doing stuff like this?
No, letting go of them every so often is fine. It's not a big deal. You snap a sweep by like hitting a rock straight on with the sweep blade. But you could.
Do you bring spare sweeps with you?
Yeah. There's a spare. Look, see to my left, behind me. There's a sweep blade down there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a sweep blade down there, and there's a spare sweep arm. There are two pieces. There's one on the left and one on the right. They're hidden under all the stuff.
So you bring one total spare, basically.
Yeah. And the front is longer than the back. So if you had to use them, you have to maybe get creative to use the spare.
Have you ever had someone like snap two sweep blades on a trip?
No. We haven't. Audrey went 8 years before she broke one. And usually they don't, like, when they break, they just kind of crack and they're still usable. And so if you broke two, one of them would get you down the river.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is House of Rocks.
And then do you have to bail water out of them, or is it floorless?
No, ours has a floor, so there's a sump pump. There's a thing where you just go.
What's the advantage of having a floor on it? Why even have a floor? It seems like you have all this decking.
I've thought about that a little bit. I think it just keeps the boat together.
Like if there wasn't
a floor,
is the floor like on the water or is it up off the water?
It's on the water.
It's on the water.
Yeah.
Then it helps displace.
Yeah. I was talking to some guys about sweep boats the other day because we were talking about the J rigs, which are the basically CAD draft ones, and the donut ones, like they call these ones donut ones. And I think these ones run lower water better because they displace more water. I think the floor helps displace some water too. But if there was no floor, the tubes might want to separate a little bit more than they should. So I've wondered that before. What if you take the floor out? It would make it easier to pontoon rocks if there's no floor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a good question. And here's Kramer. I thought one of these rapids I'd like with a back sweep. Look at Kevin. He's ready for that. It's really fun. This will be an annual event, Aaron. And once a year, we'll watch more sweep up footage, and you can be annoyed with me and bored by it and ask the same questions.
That's good because I don't remember because we don't talk about it for so long.
We do once a year. Oh, yeah. And I did a little time lapse. All right. So let's get to some of the questions. We went to pro and had locks. Don't break the oar on day 2 like someone in our group did. Ooh, burn.
Luckily, I think you have to have 2 spares per boat.
So, oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to have 2 spares per boat, I believe.
Sunk without a sound. Yeah. So Dan brought this book up to me the other day when we were floating. I never heard of this story. My guess is that they found some secret cave and just moved in.
Oh, yeah?
You know, isn't there a bunch of caves in the Grand Canyon?
Well, there are caves around there, but one of the was it Ellsworth brothers or whatever, the Cole brothers. One of the Cole brothers like moved to France not too long after that. Mm-hmm. And so one thought is that he and Betsy like hightailed it to France and they killed him. Yeah. Because strange things happen out in the wilderness, particularly back in that day. There's all sorts of stuff. But yeah, it was a little odd that he moved to France. He lived there. He's like, oh, I'm moving to France now. So, or maybe he killed both of them. I don't know. The whole thing seems a little weird. But Yeah, did you read the book? It's interesting at the end. There's
I've never heard of this story, and I've never heard of this book until last week.
The book is interesting because at the end, one of the Cole brothers, he makes like a big sweep of his own way later on. He's kind of infatuated with the sweep idea like much later, which is kind of weird. The whole thing was kind of weird. It's like, wait, what's going on? So, yeah, I mean, most likely they both just disappeared, but when the Cole brothers found it, they just cut the rope. The rope was like locked onto something. They didn't see what it was locked onto. They just cut the rope that was like stuck in between rocks. And then they pushed the boat down and destroyed the boat. So there's no evidence left. They like pushed it downstream into rapids and it like broke up and sunk. So like no one would know what happened. So in some ways people say, oh yeah, they were like hiding evidence or something like that. There's a lot of interesting stories with it. There's a lot of
it makes like, why would you? There's no good reason to take a sweep around the Grand Canyon.
No, but they were running sweeps in Idaho. They are from Idaho, and that's what they knew how to run. But that's what they knew how to use. That's what they've been using. They've been running all over Idaho. Why couldn't they run the Grand Canyon too?
And so they went to run the Grand Canyon in their sweep boat, and they died.
And they made it almost to the bottom. They're downstream of Diamond Creek when they had problems.
It seems like the hard part would be the flat water.
Yeah, I think they may have, I don't know. I forget what time of year they went. I think they may have gone during higher water. I don't remember. But I mean, it seems like they made it most of the way down. So
I'll have to check out that book. Tin Man, yeah, that sweep was there morning of August 27th because we launched 28th. So yeah, thanks for your help. Thanks for pushing in the water. Appreciate that. The book was written by a couple who replicated their sweep boat trip. Oh, interesting. So somebody did the trip.
They
with the sweep.
Another one. Yeah.
Wow.
Brad Dimmick and his wife at the time.
Is this like, I mean, I'm not a Grand Canyon expert like a lot of people are. Is this one of those books that Grand Canyon people read?
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting book. It's interesting. It's like, that's a classic one. And then there's the one about Buzz Holmstrom. You would like Buzz Holmstrom's book?
But he's the guy from Oregon.
He's the guy from Oregon who builds a boat. He lives in the Coos Bay or something like that. Builds a boat, runs the rogue, builds another boat, runs the rogue, builds a boat, goes out to the salmon, runs the salmon, and then goes and runs the Grand Canyon.
I have his book. I started reading it. It's really depressing. Like life.
Don't read the end. Don't read the end.
No, the beginning's depressing.
Well,
like basically describes what life is like in whatever the 1920s in Southern Oregon. It doesn't sound fun. I'm really glad.
Having a good time. He was going boating. He was getting out there.
I was reading and he never went boating. It's just about him and his family and growing up. And I'm like, this just isn't sound appealing.
Did you read the part about where he gets to go pet drunk deer?
No, I haven't got that far.
Because of the deer, I guess there's these apples that fermented and turned into alcohol. And so all these deer ate these apples and got all drunk and they all passed out on this field. And so they're able to go and pet these passed out deer. Yeah.
What I do know is that Buzz Holmstrom died on the Grand Ronde.
Yeah.
It's like a Class 2 river. His grave is at the confluence of the Grand Ronde and the Wallowa River in Oregon.
Yeah. No, his life after the Grand Canyon thing wasn't too hot. But what's cool is like he just went and did it, man. He just went down there and he's the only person to run all the rapids of the Grand Canyon. No one else has ever run all the rapids of the Grand Canyon.
Is it because the dam?
Yeah.
He did it. Oh, so like the people before him had never done it. He was the first person to do it all, and nobody's been able to do it since because of the dams.
The dam filled up and backed up. Yeah, those downstream rapids below Diamond Creek. Yeah.
What's the hardest one?
Well, Lava Cliff and Separation are supposed to be two of the harder rapids on the river. Back then, though, I believe, I think Soap Creek Rapid might have been the last rapid run on the Grand Canyon, if I'm correct, which was an early rapid, but I think it changed. It's the rapids have changed since then, but yeah, he ran them, and then the next year the reservoir backed him up, and no one else got to run those. And so you had people who'd run those rapids before, but no one had run those rapids and the rapids upstream. So he's the only person to run them all. It's kind of neat.
2 Navy guys who swam the canyon.
Have you read that one? That's another great one. Bill Beer, we swam the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it's hilarious. They're like they're Stanford students or something like that, and decide they're going to go out and swim the Grand Canyon. Yeah,
do they have life jackets?
Yeah, they have life jackets. I mean, they kind of have like a big supply of stuff that they've like wrapped together in waterproof boxes and bags, and they'll kind of try to ride on top of it and stuff. What's really interesting is it's pre-dam, so the descriptions of the river before Glen Canyon Dam was put in. So it was all murky, and just how cold it was, and just how much dust and sand there was. Like, it's a way more hospitable place now than it was before Glen Canyon Dam got put in, because there's way more vegetation in the canyon. There's, the sand is a coarser grain. It's not so fine, so it doesn't get blown around quite so badly. It's pretty cool, and they just like, yeah, let's go do it. And then they got down to Phantom Ranch, and they wanted to pull the plug on them. They, like, the National Park Service wanted to say, hey, no, you can't complete it. And so these kids, their argument was pretty sharp. They're like, hey, man, if you cancel us, tomorrow there's going to be 30 more people trying to be the first people to swim the Grand Canyon. And we've made it this far. You might as well let us finish. And so they let finish. And then after that, Grand Canyon had this weird rule that you're not allowed to swim in any of the rapids of the Grand Canyon. So theoretically, you couldn't let guests hop out and swim a rapid. Mm-hmm. And then they finally got an exemption for training swims to prepare people for big rapids. So they could swim rapids because of this law from back when they swim. I think it was like they did it in the 1950s.
Wait, so right now, can you swim rapids?
It's really quasi. I forget the exact. I don't know.
Like, if you got a Grand Canyon permit, could you use the permit and swim the river?
No, you can't. And I think when Julie Julie and was it Katie? I don't know what's her name.
Abby?
No, not Abby. Kelly. Oh, Kelly. Who's on their paddling team? But they did a
riverboard.
They did a kickboard trip down there. Three of them did it, and they had to get like special permission, and there was a lot of issues even getting that to go.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of it's very regulated. So yeah, so you're not supposed to swim rapids in the Grand Canyon. That being said, I know of a guy who used to at Hermit high water have people put on 2 commercial vests and have them jump out at the top and swim Hermit at high water.
What do you mean, people, like guests?
Yes.
I mean,
and the story was at the bottom, they were just so thrilled to be alive. They were just like, oh my God. And they're just like, yeah, okay, I'm here. I made it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think 2 commercial vests is definitely safe. Like, they're not designed to be used that way.
And it was the old ones. It was a 32-pounder, so they had like 64 pounds of flotation. Huh. Yeah, this is a long time ago.
Check this out.
Yeah, that seems a little. That looks exactly. That's your sweet boat right there, isn't it?
It's not mine. It's a sweet boat.
That's the exact same boat you guys are still running today, isn't it?
It's pretty similar. Yeah, I think that one has smaller tubes, but potentially.
That is interesting.
That's Jimmy Carter right there. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's Jimmy Carter wearing blue jeans on a sweet boat.
They're all wearing blue jeans.
That's so awesome. I'd love it.
So are you going to do a vintage trip? Start doing a vintage trip?
Where everyone
goes in sweet boats and wears blue jeans?
No, I forget who the super driver was. I think it's in this article somewhere. It's a pretty famous super driver. The first lady was there. It looks like his kids were there. They flew from Marine helicopter from Boise to Indian Creek. This is while he was president, by the way. Oh, Norm Guth. Yep. And they went. I think they stayed at the Middle Fork Lodge, and they camped at Lower Grouse, and then they went to Elk Bar, and out. Isn't that cool? And there's all this really cool diary of the president that talks about, where they got to, where they had lunch. They had lunch at Otter Bar. And they flew from Marine helicopter from Colson Creek Meadow. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it is.
Anyway, that's a Norm Guth, no PFD, just a really cool jacket with the president on his boat. It's a different era.
Are you required to have a PFD now? Can you still do that?
You have to have one with you. You have to have one with you.
You don't have to wear it.
You don't have to wear it. No, I don't think so. We see a lot of people not wearing PFDs in the Middle Fork, so I'm assuming you don't have to. It's not like the Grand Canyon. It's required, right? You have to wear it. You have to have one to wear it.
Yeah, I think so. And you have to have like so many extras per boat and per trip, and
makes sense. Oh, I know what I was talking about today, Aaron. I knew I had one more topic. Helmets. Have you seen this article about helmets? I knew we were missing something.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah. Let's do it.
But I have to find the article.
Or are they? So I was actually talking to a guy here yesterday, and tell me that I'm wrong about this. I was talking to this guy who teaches at the school where my daughter goes, and he's like, we're talking about rafting. He's like, I'd never go rafting. It's too dangerous. Get slammed into a rock. And I was like, you really don't get slammed into rocks when you're rafting. You know, and I was like, it's not like the coral here when you're surfing or bicycling. You get slammed into coral all the time. But I was like, there's kind of pillows on the front of the rocks, and because all the water kind of stops on the front of them. And I'd say like kayaking is a different story. I've definitely hit my head hard kayaking, but rafting, never in a swim rafting have I hit my head hard.
Yeah, I was in a discussion with somebody the other day. They're like, you got to wear a helmet in case you fall out and hit your head on a rock. And I don't think falling out and hitting your head on a rock is as big of a factor as everybody thinks.
Yeah.
This is just a guess. This isn't science. This is just me having seen many people fall out of boats and swim rapids without helmets.
Yeah. And with helmet. Yeah. Just like, I just look at the scrapes on my helmet. All the scrapes are on top of my helmet from kayaking. I'm upside down, and I was getting like slammed into rocks when I was in my boat still, not swimming, in my boat.
Yeah. So it's not like you don't fall. I mean, maybe you do. People don't generally fall out of boats head first into rocks.
No.
Right. That's not a mechanism. Like, oh, I'm rafting. Oh, I'm falling out and I'm falling with my head first onto rocks. I think
most of the time, if you fall out, you're like the boat's flipping back upstream. Because there's a lot of water pushing and catching that upstream tube, and you're falling into water typically. Yeah. I mean, I'd be a little worried about metal frames and oars and stuff like that hitting my head, and that's the reason I like having a helmet. Is that stuff does concern me. Is all the rafting stuff slamming into me and other people.
I mean, the obvious thing: T groups on paddles.
Yep.
So T groups on paddles are a thing, and then just like if you're in an oar frame and either an oar hitting you in the head, or the big metal frame hitting you in the head, or even if it's like a paddle boat, I guess it's paddles, but
paddles and other people's heads, head to head.
Now, you can get hurt falling out and hitting your head on a rock. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just not something that I think is as common as everybody thinks when they're sitting.
Well, I think this comment. I think this is the classic. Yep. I think you're more likely to hit your head walking around on the rocks.
Yeah.
I think that's much more common. You probably better, like we said, leave the helmet on in camp because you're more likely to have a head injury in camp. Almost, not totally, but I mean,
yeah. I wish we had data. I mean, the reason we've brought up helmets a lot. If you look at the AW accident database, there's a lot of people that are dying in accidents from solo boating, cold water, drinking. Those are big factors, right? People dying from head injuries is pretty low, and people say, well, it's because everybody's wearing helmets. Not everybody's wearing helmets. Like, go out in the real world on a river, you won't see that as many people wearing helmets as you think, and so you will see a lot of people drinking. And so if I was to choose one thing, cut drinking on the river or make everybody wear helmets, I would cut drinking on the river first. Like, drinking on the river is way more dangerous than not wearing a helmet. Right? What are you laughing at?
Do you drink on the river?
Oh, Aaron, come on. I have.
Do you still?
No, sometimes, rarely.
In camp. Yeah. That still counts.
It doesn't count.
Yes.
Because you have a clear mind the next day.
No, because in camp, you're going to get hurt drinking in camp. Well,
sure,
more injuries, I feel like, happen in camp than people have been drinking.
Aaron, you know what I mean, though? Like, when you go out and see private trips these days, people are getting hammered on the river. It's a pretty common thing. People associate boating with drinking.
And I think that the drinking in camp is also a concern.
Not as dangerous as on the river.
People, you get up in the morning, you see some person who didn't even make it to their tent or
that's fine. They're not dying. They're dying on the river. Like, there are a lot of documented deaths from drinking and being on the river. They're not dying in camp. They're just not making their tent.
There's more documented deaths, like Grand Canyon. There's more documented deaths of people going down to take a leak at night and falling in and drowning than of actually drowning while rafting on the river and drinking down there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because people are actually wearing their life jackets then. So
that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, we got on a sidetrack topic.
No,
anyway,
I think this is interesting. Yeah.
I think I'm looking at the data on how people die in rivers. I'm looking at the American Whitewater database pretty regularly to see what's happening. And I'm going to say a lot of deaths happen because of solo boating. Are you looking at the comments again instead of talking to me?
I'm listening to you as well. I can multitask.
No, you can't. I look at you and you're just laughing. I'm like, you're not even paying attention. Anyway, people are dying again from like boating alone, cold water, flush drowning, which is just a catch-all, and alcohol in the river. That's a pretty common thing. Floating down rivers like Disneyland, both no rules.
Well, you're not allowed to be. Are you not allowed to be drunk on Disneyland rides?
Are there rules in Disneyland?
Yeah, is there rules on that? Do they sell alcohol? Do they sell alcohol at Disneyland?
Yeah. You can be drunk in Disneyland. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, if you're super hungover, that's just as bad as being drunk. Is it?
Super hungover, I'd say you're not very useful.
Yeah, but you're not making bad judgment. I mean, when you're drunk, you lose judgment. If you're hungover, I mean,
I'm going to say this. When I started guiding, this was pretty early on. I was working trips on the Merced, and I noticed if I had 2 beers, and I'm a little bit of a lightweight, I'll say, and I wasn't getting drunk, but the next day my lines wouldn't be as tight. I noticed that I definitely noticed the difference in terms of.
Okay. If you're a little hungover, your lines will not be as good, but they won't be as bad as if you're actually drunk.
Well, he's talking really, really
hungover,
super hungover. I was just talking about having 2 beers.
I mean, you can't define super hungover. I mean, I would choose super hungover over super drunk, but like a little drunk versus super hungover, maybe it's the same. I don't know. We're getting into the weeds here.
Yeah, we're definitely deep.
But I would rather choose super hungover over super drunk.
Wow. I can't believe you're recommending people be super hungover on the river boating.
I'm not. I'm just saying I'm saying do neither, but super drunk is bad. Anyway, let's move on. This is going on a weird path. Okay, let's look at the Whitewater helmet ratings. And it sounds like this is scientific from what, like, somebody did some science. I read some of the notes and the technical documents, and like they did actual science. It was pretty interesting. We're not going to verify their science, but technical documents. They actually like pounded. I mean, this looks like a real machine to test helmets. This isn't just some like grad students, in a room. This looks pretty legit to me. So I'm going to trust these ratings, but also I don't know anything. I don't know how to verify that this is actually good. And let's look at the helmets. So, Aaron, have you ever had a sweet helmet?
I bought one for Lindsay.
Why'd you buy one for Lindsay?
Oh, it seemed like the best option in at the time. It seemed like the best helmet I could find, and I could get it at a reasonable price too. I was able to get it online at a reasonable price. So,
yeah, I mean, I think
I got the basic one. I wish it had more ear protection, but it, like I think I got one of the Wanderer ones. I don't know the difference between the Wanderer and the Wanderer 2.
Looking at the Wanderer ones are the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, number 1 and number 2. The Wanderer 1 and Wanderer 2 are number 1 and number 2.
They're better than the Rocker?
Yeah, that surprised me. And the Wanderer to me just seems like the cheap, simple option.
Yeah.
You can see they're $150, $130.
Yeah.
And the Rocker, which I would assume is better, costs twice as much, but isn't quite as good.
And they say, why isn't it quite as good? Do we know?
Well, just the scores. I don't know. They hit the head. You saw that video, right? Where they hit him in the head with that thing, and they measured like how much concussive force there is, and there's the least amount of force passed on with these Wanderers, and then these.
You know what? I wonder. I wonder if without the ear thing, if your air gets trapped in there more, then you get more concussed. I wonder if it's something to do with that. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the ear thing there, and so the air can move out of the helmet more. Maybe. And it maybe has less pressure. I don't know. I'm throwing spitball in here, but it's interesting. Isn't that the main difference between the two? Is the little earpiece things?
Yeah, Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're pretty similar. I always thought the rocker was better because it costs more, and it does really well. I mean, really well compared to the rest of the helmets and the whole thing. So I was just as surprised to see the Wanderer do better. The rockers look cooler, and so I don't know, they look cool. And it's interesting. The Dagger edition does slightly better than the regular rocker, and I didn't know there's.
I wonder how much better. Is it actually better, or are they pretty much the same?
I mean,
are there any ties?
There's not ties, I know.
Is the difference statistically significant?
Yeah, those are good questions, scientists. But the scores are all like, 0.25, 0.33, 0.36, 0.56, 0.83. These are all 5-star helmets, right?
I would also be curious if they took like 20 of one type of the sweet helmet and looked at the variation between helmets.
They probably, I mean, I don't know if they did, but I'm guessing they just took one of each helmet and did one bounce and said, hey, that one did pretty well. So it's not, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Is this actual science? If you click down
just pulling one helmet that's not, you don't have enough data.
Well, we don't, I mean, I clicked on the test protocol here, the Whitewater star methodology. I'm reading it right now real quick. I don't know. I don't have time to read this whole thing. This document details the protocol used to rate Whitewater helmets based on concussion risk according to the Virginia Tech helmet ratings. And the protocol, whoa, there's a whole article on how they do it. Wow, there's some crazy equations. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this thing up.
Yeah, I just curious. Usually they'll tell you like how statistically significant is the difference, but
so here, do you see this? I don't think they're saying how many helmets.
They need to test multiple helmets to have a good data because the variation.
Here we go. 2 samples per helmet model were tested at 6 different impact configurations. So 2 each.
And what was the variance? I would be curious about the variance between the two helmets.
You're such a nerd. Look how they hit him.
Well, you have to remember, my wife did. She worked with statistics for a long time with her work, and she talked about like a lot of this stuff. The data doesn't mean anything because you haven't done enough trials, and you have an outlier, and all of a sudden everyone's making these conclusions based upon information. There's not enough data to make that conclusion.
Okay. Anyway, there's some cool math.
That's cool. Equation looks good.
Yep. Look at this equation. There's some really, really nice numbers in there. Oh, here we go. The star value says the number of stars. So below 1.21 is 5 stars. I'll get to that in a minute. So let's go back to the ratings. So I'm going to say, like, I'm with you, Aaron. I think that if they only did 2 helmets, they can't say like for sure that this is number 1. But I would say if you're below a score of 1, that's pretty good. Like all 5 of these helmets are pretty nice. Can you agree with that? Like,
yeah, you bet.
Like there's some variance, and maybe the Wanderer isn't actually number 1. It's just like, I don't know. If they tested 20 helmets, it would be number 1. But these, you can say they're all 5 stars. These are all really good helmets.
What's intriguing is just based on that is the more expensive one isn't actually better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or even if it's not, let's say it's number 4, it's still going to get 5 stars probably. Like it's a good helmet. So it says it's number 1. It may actually be number 4. Whatever. These are good helmets. Any of these helmets are good. And I think that anybody who knows about helmets will agree. Sweet helmets are great helmets.
What did they test the stupid little baseball cap ones?
Yeah, they did. We'll get to that. So, and then this $100 helmet does okay. Does 4 stars. So we go from a 0.83 to a 1.49. So all of these sweets are like 0.83 and below. It's a pretty decent jump up to what's next. 1.49, 1.77, 1.89. With some of these are probably the best shred ready ones. And then we get to
interesting how the face mask ones in general score more poorly than their non-face mask counterparts.
Shred ready full face. I mean, here
the shred ready full face, and then
but here the rocker full face, the rocker full face is better than the rocker.
So, yeah, I think that's because it's got that earbud pad thing that doesn't allow.
Yeah, where the shred ready full face Yeah, it looks exactly like the full cut. So it does a little worse. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. And then the NRS Chaos does pretty well for $70.
Yeah.
And it looks like the full cut is better than the side cut. That's good to know. Where it covers the ear. It looks super nerdy though. Look at this helmet.
I'm guessing I'm starting to notice a pattern. Those earbuds that sit up against your ear like that and cover it with the foam. Mm-hmm. I think they make the concussive force higher because it doesn't allow that air to move out. Because airflow is a key part of concussive force, right? If you have all the air trapped in there and you slam
How do you know that, Aaron? Are you telling us a fact, or is this naive and entitled?
A little naive and entitled, but somewhere back in my brain, I remember reading some stuff.
Yeah, don't say somewhere back in my brain I read something. So listen to me.
No, I think you have to think about airflow with concussive force, and when air is trapped.
Do you really think about airflow? I think this is fake news. When you say things like somewhere in the back of my head, I remember something and present it as fact. You can't do that.
Airflow.
Aaron, you're a member of the media now. You can't just say things that.
I definitely can.
You just did. Hey, look at number. Hey, let's go back to number 1, Aaron. You see number 1? The Wanderer, does it have the ear thing?
No, it doesn't. That's my point.
Oh, your point is not having air coverage is better.
Not having air coverage allows the air just to whoosh. So it compresses and there's place for stuff to go. Or if you had water in the helmet, for example.
So the half
if
cut.
There's whelmet in the water and the water's trapped in there and it's compressing down, it's going to put more force on your head.
What we're seeing is the half cut is better than the full cut. So that would corroborate your.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then the shred ready with the face mask is even worse because it's even got more trapping of stuff.
Now hold on. Now the NRS one is different because you get the full cut versus the side cut.
But the side cut's got those ear pads on it. I would be curious if they did it without the ear pads on it.
What do you know? Oh, I guess not. Yeah, interesting. And then the NRS Havoc livery. Havoc livery. How do you pronounce that?
Is that the super cheap one?
It's pretty cheap. Yeah, it's $50.
The shred ready.
And shred ready, the $133 helmet does worse than the NRS $50 helmet.
I'm gonna say that shred ready never looked like a good helmet to me when people would wear them. I was just like, shred readies never looked like they did much, and this is.
Well, I mean, they do pretty well up here, Aaron.
Oh no, those little ones, the little stupid ones.
Oh, the dinky ones, the cool guy ones.
Yeah, the cool guy ones.
So the iron, I mean, they still do a good job. They still better than nothing.
They're 2 stars out of 5.
And then the T-Dub and the Shaggy man. That's a bro helmet if I've ever seen one. And then the Shred Ready Super Scrappy, the Sesh.
Wow, 1 star.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then the Strutter.
The WRSI
is the worst.
I thought those were supposed to be good.
First of all, this is my favorite helmet.
I know that. That's exactly.
I wear this helmet a lot.
It looks like you should basically not even wear the helmet.
That's not true. I mean, first of all, a 1-star rating is still better than no helmet. Actually, I flipped my kayak the other day and hit a rock in my head with this helmet on, and it was fine. Where it probably would have been a bummer if I didn't have a helmet on.
Those solid bills make me uncomfortable. I can see putting a lot of force on your neck. There's this opportunity.
No, if you hit a rock, I've always liked it because if you go face to a rock, the solid bill's going to stop it. It's sort of like a face mask. That's been my thinking.
Have you ever hit something with the bill of it?
No. That's good. I haven't hit anything face first. That's a good thing. So anyway, it's 1 star. It's kind of like that life jacket I was talking about the other day, that super minimal float one. It looks cool. If I'm doing class 2, 3 play boating. I don't know.
Do you consider yourself a role model, Zach?
I don't know. Sometimes. Now
when you want to be.
I am. I feel like I am when I'm at work, or when I'm doing something like a leadership role. If I'm just playboating class 2 or 3, no, I want to have fun. I don't want to be a role model then. I want to look cool.
But the problem is, Zach, everyone knows you now. So since you're so famous.
Not everybody knows me, Aaron. I've been places where people don't know me. So
when you go to put in, I'm sure people talk to you all the time now. Let's go.
Not all the time, but
do they rate the ProTech helmet?
It's not on here. Anyway, let's move on. Oh. So remember WRSI was started because didn't somebody hit their head.
They said the ProTech weren't very good, so that's why they started WRSI. Yeah, because the ProTech were supposedly so bad.
Which I thought Protex were. I've hit my head on Protex with Protex a lot, but anyway, it's WRSI stands for Whitewater Research Safety Institute, and their whole thing was we're going to make the best helmets ever, and turns out they're 18, 19, 20, 21. And it's good marketing. I mean, they're convincing you they're better because they have a cool name. But NRS bought WRSI.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe I don't know. I mean, which is interesting. The
NRS
helmets
scored way better.
do pretty well, but these NRS ones look dorky, where these WRSI ones look like semi cool. That they have the cool guy look.
But I'm gonna say there's less venting on them.
So
the venting, I think, helps with that concussive force measurement thing.
See, again, thank you for putting I think in there because sometimes I'm looking for vents.
Look at the NRS ones up there have way more vents.
Yeah, but look at the suit protections don't. The best ones. Oh, there's some. You know what? There's some. See the top of the Wanderer. There's little vents there.
And that
could be why it's the best.
And on the front too. There's vents on the front.
There's not vents in the front.
That's a vent, right?
On the Wanderer, that's not a vent. On the Rocker, that is a vent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wonder if I have one here. Oh, yeah, I have one here. Hold on. Look at it.
Do you have the Rocker?
Okay,
is that the Rocker or the regular? Or
this is the Rocker. And so, I'll maybe make myself big here so you can see.
So that's the junky one.
No, this is the Rocker. This is the expensive one.
No, but that's the junky one we're learning now.
It's not junky. It's 1 star. It's better than almost everything.
It's not as good as the Wanderer, though.
It's not as good as the Wanderer. There's holes here, but I wouldn't call them vents because it goes right. There's foam right behind it. There's no. I mean, this is still a really good helmet, Aaron. But it is expensive for how safe it is. But I don't see. There's no vents on this at all.
There's no venting on it. Yeah, that's interesting.
No. Yeah. Whereas, this one. Let me go back to this view. Let's go back to that page. The Wanderer, those holes in the middle are not vents. They're little rubberized things. I've seen that one before. But it looks like, do you see like kind of in the head, that does look like vents.
Yeah. Totally.
On sweet protection. Let's look at upper better. I kind of want to get one of these now. Whoa. Is that? Oh, that's for biking. Oh man. Hold on.
It might have been with ski helmets when I heard about that, Zach, when I was teaching skiing, where they talked about the concussive force and the airflow. It might have been ski helmets.
All right, I'm on this page. Do you see those look like little vents on the top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. So you think these vents right here?
I don't know if they have vents or not now. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting. It's like,
no, it looks like there's vents. So you're putting 2 and 2 together and saying having vents helps the air escape for concussive force.
It might. I see
good.
that.
Well, because before you were saying it did. So it's nice.
I remember reading about it, and at one point, maybe it wasn't when I was teaching skiing. I just remember like it was weird. I was like, oh, I never thought about the air. Air needs a place to go. When you smash the helmet in, you want the air to be able to release easily out of there. You don't want to.
Direct ventilation. I mean, right there it says direct. Can you see that? Those are definitely. So these have ventilation.
Yeah.
The Wanderer 2 is an updated version at a lower price. It has all of the renowned features and offers dependability and durability for all-around river use. It was first introduced in 2008, has been updated several times since, and is the latest edition. Pretty cool.
Why is it? How did they make it cheaper than the Wanderer? Why is it cheaper?
I don't know. I mean, we know from our ratings that it's not quite as safe, but it's number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, number 1, the Wanderer's just a tiny bit better. Okay, Keep going down the list. So we got down to Shred Readies. We got down to my favorite Strutter. It's disappointing. I love that helmet.
The WRSI.
WRSI didn't do well on the Gath. The WRSI really is not.
The full face seemed to fairly consistently do worse, which is interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the
Shred Ready Outfitter.
Shred Ready Live.
Yeah, it's too bad they don't have. I would love to have those old Protex we used to all use and compare those and where that would line up with all this stuff.
I'd be interested in that for sure.
Yeah, like just even pull out a junky old Protec helmet and be like, all right, let's see how that
goes. I would guess it doesn't do well. I mean, it does go over the ears, although it has nice holes over the ears.
Yeah.
Like Dougie still has his. Makes me want to go back to just getting a good enough helmet that I really like. That one's expensive and highly rated. Why would it make you want to go back to getting one that's good enough?
Well, he's saying like the super expensive ones aren't actually better.
They are better.
No, they're not. The Wanderer is better than the Rocker.
But the Rocker's better than everything else.
Yeah, but the Wanderer is cheaper, a lot cheaper.
Then get the Wanderer then.
Yeah.
But the Rocker is super expensive. It's still better than everything else, except for the Wanderer. So, like, I don't know. That kind of looks cool and is comfortable for me. Yeah, I mean, I do think this, and let me just think, Aaron, having it look cool and be comfortable is a factor because you're more likely to wear it.
Comfort is big, and honestly, I think my biggest thing is how well you can swim in it, how stable it is on your head. And that's one of the things I like about the Sweet helmets in general is I find they really sit on people's heads well. I never see them flopping in front of their face, going over their eyes, like some of the stuff farther down, like the Shred Readies and some of the other stuff. I see much more problems with those ones moving around that are more they don't sit quite as tight on the head. So that's one of my big growth. And like we talked about, I think there's a difference between kayaking and rafting. I'm way more worried about concussions kayaking than I am rafting, and just taking those hits to the head. Rafting, I'm more worried if I fall out, is it going to cover my face? Am I going to be able to swim with it? Is it going to stay on well and just protect me from those stupid glancing blows?
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I mean, but if you're rafting with the oar frame and you take that gear, the oar frame to the head or the oar to the head, that's a factor for sure. I mean, I think for rowing a big gear boat, you get hit in the head with stuff if you flip, or the oar to the head's a serious thing.
But I think too, the thing of it is the Wanderer is just such a great option. It's the best one. It's not that expensive, and you're like, and it's going to protect you well. You swim well in it. It's a great helmet.
I mean, the Wanderer 2 for $130 seems like the way to go. It's just barely worse than the Wanderer, right? It comes in cool colors. $130. It's cheaper than a lot of these helmets on here that are like this Shred Ready Shaggy and the Shred Ready T-Dub. But of course, if you want to look like a bro, it's hard to look like a bro with the Wanderer. That's for sure.
I mean, it's a couple of those NRS ones seem pretty good too.
They look dorky though.
What's number 6?
The Shred Ready half
cut.
That's just like I think they're classic helmet. I had some of these. I think it's this one for a kayak school, and they all kind of fell apart. I ended up not liking them. That's
the other thing too. The longevity of it. How will they hold up?
Yep. All right. The statistical score, like 0.25, is supposed to reference how many concussions the average paddler would get. Interesting. Is that true? We didn't read that hard into this article. We should know that. I mean, how many concussions have you had, Aaron?
Playing rafting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You had one?
The closest I remember is I got thrown into a pin on a frame and I had my helmet on. Luckily, I was wearing an old Protec helmet. I was like, glad I had my helmet on.
Did you get a concussion?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I've had
it rang my bell pretty good though. But I think we're much more aware of concussions now than we were 20 years ago when that happened, or 25, almost 30 years ago when that happened. Yeah.
What's up, Aaron? I like my solid WRS helmet because I feel like it keeps my head drier and warmer in winter paddling.
And I agree, Chad. I do like the ones without vents on it. for that reason. But I think also this guy I taught some SWIFT courses with, he talked about venting. He talked about the venting too in this course. This guy at Lake Tahoe Community College, Scott, he talked about the venting helping with concussion.
I mean, this one would keep your hair dry the same, but this is the expensive one, the rocker.
It is. I kind of like that. I mean, you're not getting all your hair is not get you on cold days. It's nice.
Any thoughts on the old Grateful Dead helmets? They're still available. Really? Wow. Well, Jeff from Tumalo Creek Kayak and Canoe and Bend wants to resurrect the brand. I wore a Grateful Dead helmet for a long time. Do you remember that white one I had, the sparkles, Aaron?
Yep.
I wore one for a long, long time. I don't think the Grateful Heads guides, and I could be wrong here, but I don't think they were taking a scientific approach to helmets. I think they were just making cool looking helmets.
Well, I still have one that I like and I use, and it's the one with the motorcycle one with more coverage all the way down low, and it's giving me really good coverage. So, and that's why I got it. And I have a bigger head, and it's hard to find helmets that fit my head. So, but is it going to withstand the same type of forces as these? I don't know. I mean, fiberglass is also, those helmets are also designed to break on impact in a way, and that will, reduce some of the force, right? It takes some of the force in the breaking of it, so you're not getting as much.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, I think sweep helmets are so good. In my opinion, they're so good. They're so well made. I just can't see how you can make a better helmet. It won't be better safety wise. It might look. I mean, the Grateful Head helmets look cool. They have like cool designs and they make you look cool. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I had one for a long time. I loved it. ProTech with the Velcro visor for the Ultimate Bro. That's freshy.
That's why I ran that. Yeah, that was that. We need to bring that look back. Yeah.
I wonder if I could find a photo of Dougie Fresh kayaking.
That'd be great.
With him wearing his helmet. I'm not search Google.
So what's the conclusion on this? So the shred readies are
Yeah, I mean, we already knew that. The conclusion, here's the conclusion. The best bang for your buck is the sweep protection Wanderer. That's just like obviously the best bang for your buck. These other sweep protections are sweet. The shred readies and NRS are probably better than WRSI is in general. The Strutter, which we all thought, I mean, I always thought was a great helmet, is not as great as I thought. And
really? Wait, you really thought that was a great helmet?
Yeah, because it's made by Sweet.
You always looked at that. That's the cool person helmet. It has horrible coverage. It barely covers your the back of your head. It's going to catch water and get pulled up, so you smash your face. Like, it just seems like a bad idea.
Okay. Anyway,
Aaron, you shouldn't wear a paddle cap ending, right? Because you can get thrown into the back of someone else and just nail them with it.
You don't have to rub it all in, Aaron. I'm admitting it's not as, just accept it. They're not as good.
I think it's fine if you wear it backwards, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
No, you're not going to hurt somebody with that. I mean, you could never. I don't even know. So that's the moral of the story is these sweep protections look way better. Everything else is in the middle. WRSI is at the bottom. And
WRSI, which claimed to be this great company, it's interesting. Yeah.
Have you seen these helmets? The cowboy. I bet these test really well.
I haven't seen them.
Yep, the cowboy hat helmets. Fun colors is an upcharge. We should see if they could test these. Ooh, red, white, and blue. Cool strap. Oh, tiger strap, rainbow trout straps.
Wow.
What do you think?
Man, that looks pretty neat. Pretty amazing.
Cowboy hat helmets. Lots of options. Here we go. See, and you can look cool. That looks pretty cool, huh? This guy's got this, looks like a shred ready. As we learned, is medium safe. That cowboy hat, though, looks pretty rad.
I wonder what happens when you hit the side of it.
It probably, look at that. Extreme Expeditions. Well, Aaron, I think we did another show.
I'm kind of a fan of those cowboy hat helmets.
For safety or for looks?
For sun protection.
That's why I like the strutter. It has like a little visor built in for sun protection.
Yeah, you can get the cool Velcro ones, and it's way safer.
Wait, so that's the same thing you can say about your cowboy hat helmet. And the Velcro ones are not cool. The Velcro does not look cool.
No, the cowboy hat gives you coverage all the way around the sides, though.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Do you think that cowboy one offers protection?
Minimal.
Yeah, better than nothing for sure, right?
I mean, there's certain places where I've been required to wear a helmet where I didn't feel like it was really necessary. I might use it in one of those situations.
Got it.
Where I want the sun coverage.
Cool.
Yeah. But I mean, in general, I don't really mind wearing helmets when I'm on the river.
It depends on the helmet. If I had to wear an uncomfortable helmet, I would mind. But if I can wear my strutter, I'm fine.
Well, it's not even really a helmet, as we've learned today.
Aaron, it's a helmet. It is a helmet. It doesn't have it gets 1 star, but that's compared to
1 star out of 5, dude. That is not good.
It is a helmet.
Like, how many of them get 0 stars?
There's no such thing as 0 star. Oh, the gaff.
The gaff gets 0 stars.
It does get 0 stars.
Yeah.
Maybe the brim's like, maybe it is. Maybe it is like a crumple zone. All right, I got a couple announcements, and we'll shut this show down. How's that sound, Aaron? Okay.
Great.
First of all, I just want to remind everybody about our contest. We're pretty excited about it. Go to whitewaterguidebook.com to find all the rules. We'll do our best to update them as we go. Aaron and I are both leaving for the Grand Canyon for different trips, and so the show won't be happening for like 3 or 4 weeks. So we're gonna say goodbye for a few weeks. And I want to thank everybody for watching and subscribing and do all the things. We really enjoy this show, and it's the end of the summer, and it seems like we're gonna take a break, but we're gonna jump back into this contest hard when we get back from the Grand Canyon. Right, Aaron? All right, want to shut this one down?
If you haven't hit that like button, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified anytime Zach posts anything new online. How many viewers are we up to now, Zach?
We're almost to 9,000. Oh wait, 9,000,
wow.
8,000. We're almost to 8,000.
What?
Well, now we lost because you swore.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Actually, I'll look. No, we have. I'll tell you right now. We have 8,730 subscribers. So we almost have 9,000. I bet you when we get back from the Grand Canyon, we'll have almost 9,000.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Well, great job, Zach. And you guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments, questions. Yeah, have fun on the Grand Canyon, Zach.
Yeah, you too. Watch out for Lava Falls.
Oh, we'll do. Thanks.
When we're done with the show, I'm going to give you some hints and tricks on how to be a.
Oh, that'd be great. I'll get a paper and pen ready.
Do you want to know what the best one is?